Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. O my Lord, expand for me my breast, ease my task for me, and remove the impediment from my speech, so they may understand what I say. O Allah, teach us what benefits us, benefit us with what you have taught us, and increase us in knowledge, O Lord of the worlds. Welcome everyone to this interactive explainer. Today, we're diving into an absolutely fascinating intersection. We are going to explore the exact, meticulous science of Quranic recitation and connect it directly to the profound, unshakable faith of early Islamic history. So whether you're actively seeking to perfect your pronunciation, or you're just trying to understand the deep spiritual resilience of the earliest Muslims, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it.
Right off the bat, channeling the great Professor Saber Mahmood, I want to deeply, truly thank every single one of you. To all our current and future viewers who watch, share, and learn from this material, and then go on to teach it to others, thank you. Your dedication to learning is literally what brings this entire community to life.
So, here's our quick roadmap for today's Mahar Walk and Ibtida Challenge prep. We're going to hit the walk guide, practical stopping stations, some interactive tajweed correction, incredible stories of the Sahaba, treating errors, and the true benefits of continuous learning.
Starting off with sections 1 and 2, the Mahar Challenge Roadmap.
Okay, mastering waf, which is knowing exactly where to stop, and ibtida, where to start, is absolutely crucial. If you don't map this out, you risk making hidden mistakes that can actually change the meaning of the verses. Think of reciting verse 102 of Surah Al-Baqarah like running a strategic marathon. You need your hydration stations, right? First, you want to stop at kafaru to properly clear Allah's name. Then, you resume and make your next stop at marud, which explains the angel's trial. The third station is stopping at fitna for the warning. Fourth, you stop at bi'idhnillah, emphasizing that absolutely no harm happens except by Allah's will. And finally, you stop at halak. Mapping out your recitation like this, it brings total confidence, precision, and a much deeper understanding, completely saving you from the trap of running out of breath and breaking the meaning.
Moving right along into Section 3, Interactive Tajweed Correction. I'm putting my teacher hat on for a second because we need to fix some things. We're going to look at the most common recitation mistakes we hear, especially when students are reading a bit too fast. First up is accidentally merging the letters in the word enahum. The remedy for that is crystal clear pronunciation. The second mistake is swallowing the final letter when stopping on the word al-adhab. The fix there is adding a subtle bounce. And the third is fully pronouncing the N sound in yanzurun when it actually needs to be hidden. Let's analyze these step by step so you can adjust your letter characteristics instantly.
So, the first absolutely crucial point is mastering qalqala. Think of it as a physical disturbance, almost like an echo. When you stop on the word al-adhab, you are stopping on the letter ba. You can't just clamp your lips shut and freeze. That totally traps the sound. You actually have to actively bounce your lips open slightly. Al-adhab. Seriously, try it with me right now, out loud. Move your lips, close them on the ba, then release with a slight crisp echo. Boom! You just gave the letter its full right and characteristic.
And that brings us perfectly to our next rule, izhar halki. Izhar literally means clear. When you read the word anhum, you have a noon with no vowel, followed immediately by a ha, which is a throat letter. You absolutely must pronounce that noon clearly and distinctly. It is anhum. Don't merge it, don't gloss over it. It requires sharp, crisp pronunciation. And the exact same logic applies to the phrase hum yanzurun. You've got to keep that M perfectly clear before moving on.
Let's test this out practically. Look at the phrase walahum yanzurun. Here, the noon is followed by the heavy letter dha. This requires ikhfa, specifically a middle degree of hiding the noon. You don't say yanjurun clearly, but you don't swallow it entirely either. Your tongue just kind of hovers, preparing for that heavy dha. Can you simulate that correct audio performance out loud right now? Go ahead, try it. Walahum yanzurun. See? That's exactly how you dial in those characteristics.
Now, shifting gears to Section 4, Sahaba Stories, Steadfastness and Certainty.
You might be wondering, why do we care so intensely about these tiny, microscopic details of pronunciation? Well, let me put my historical researcher hat on. We have to unpack the dramatic context of the apostate mentioned in Surah Al-Imran. Contrast their terrifying eternal punishment, abandoning faith the second life gets difficult, with the unimaginable physical courage in yaqeen, that absolute unshakable certainty of the early Sahaba.
It's the stark difference between a superficial faith that crumbles under pressure and a heart forged in unshakable truth.
Consider the truly harrowing trial of Ammar bin Yasir. He was enslaved and brutalized by his captors until he literally lost consciousness. Under this unbearable, extreme physical torment, he verbally uttered words of disbelief just to make the torture stop. He ran to the Prophet Muhammad, completely devastated. But he received the most beautiful reassurance. Because his heart remained entirely full of genuine faith, his forced words didn't harm his spiritual standing at all. True faith resides deep in the heart.
But then, look at the supreme certainty of Khabbab bin al-Arat. He was captured while acting as an intelligence gatherer for the Muslims. The Quraysh tied him to a tree and demanded he abandon Islam. He refused. So they literally brought a saw and sawed him in half. Under unimaginable physical destruction, he never uttered a single syllable of disbelief. No way. He fully accepted death rather than abandon his certainty.
And the miraculous aftermath of Khabbab's martyrdom is just awe-inspiring. The Quraysh intended to mutilate his body to send a message, but divine intervention stepped right in. A swarm of bees suddenly descended, aggressively stinging anyone who even tried to approach his remains. Then, as night fell, a sudden torrential rain swept through the valley, washing his body away and burying it perfectly under the sand, completely shielding him from his enemies. It so brilliantly illustrates how Allah ultimately defends and honors those who truly, deeply believe.
So, what does this all mean for us today? Well, you and I aren't facing the physical torture of the Quraysh, but we absolutely face distractions, laziness, and the heavy frustration of making mistakes when we learn. Just as the Sahaba showed immense physical courage to protect the message of the Quran, we must build immense spiritual resilience and daily discipline to perfect our tajweed. Your struggle to properly bounce a letter or hide a sound, that is your personal battlefield of faith.
Moving into sections 5 and 6, treating errors and the benefits of continuous learning.
How do we practically apply this discipline to treat our everyday errors? By committing to continuous learning challenges. And the benefits here are just immense. First, it actively prevents hidden and obvious recitation mistakes, known as lan, safeguarding the exact word of God. Second, when you aren't struggling just to read the words, you can actually deeply ponder their meanings. Third, weekly challenges cultivate a powerful daily spiritual focus. And finally, it connects you to a massive global learning community, where we all push each other to be better. And speaking of our incredible community, a massive, massive congratulations to Reham Ahmad for taking first place in the recent Mahar Walk Challenge. But honestly, I want to celebrate all the students of the school. The simple act of trying, of practicing over and over, recording your audio and submitting it for correction, that effort is a huge victory in itself. Every single time you try, you elevate your rank.
Of course, none of this structured, incredible learning happens in a vacuum. We owe heartfelt, profound gratitude to Professor Sabir Mahmoud Mohammed Hussein and every single person who has contributed to the Roضة Al-Jinnan School for learning the Quran. Their tireless dedication to mapping out these verses, identifying errors, and patiently correcting students is exactly what makes achieving these crucial learning outcomes possible.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Will you let your mistakes and frustrations hold you back, or will you channel the absolute certainty of the Sahaba and conquer them? Are you ready to take on the next Tajweed challenge and truly, genuinely elevate your recitation? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this explainer with anyone looking to perfect their journey with the Quran. Keep practicing, stay resilient, and we will see you in the next one.